Here's what separates the rich from everyone else. Most people chase money. The wealthy. They build assets that print money automatically. There's a specific ladder, 6 steps, climbed in order. And once you understand it, financial freedom stops being a dream and becomes mathematically inevitable. This isn't motivation. This is a system. The same system used by every self-made millionaire you've ever heard of. And today, I'm breaking down all 6 steps. Let's begin. Think about this for a second. Why do some people work 80-hour weeks and stay broke, while others work 20 hours and become millionaires? The difference isn't luck. It's not intelligence. It's not even hard work. It's what they build. The wealthy don't trade time for money. They build assets that multiply value while they sleep. And if you climb this 6-step ladder correctly in the right order, you won't just get rich, you'll become unforgettable. Before anything else, wealth begins with you. Not your job, not your degree, not your family background, your skills. Here is what most people miss. A valuable skill isn't just something that makes you money today. It's an asset that works anywhere, anytime, even if you lose everything else. The poor learn skills for income. The rich learn skills for leverage. Think about it. Copywriting turns words into sales. Sales is the highest paid skill in any economy. Coding builds products that scale infinitely. Public speaking influences thousands at once. Systems thinking creates efficiency where others see chaos. These aren't just skills. They're money generators. And here's the kicker. Your skill set is the only asset nobody can steal, tax, or take away from you. You could lose your house, your business, your bank account. But if you have a high-value skill, you rebuild fast action step. Identify one skill that solves expensive problems. Master it, then move to step 2. Skills create income, but cash flow creates stability. Your second asset is whatever generates consistent, predictable money every single month. Not a job that pays you once. Not a one-time project. Recurring revenue. Here's what that looks like. A business with repeat customers, a high-income skill sold as a service. Digital products like courses, templates, or software. Licensing deals, content monetization through YouTube, newsletters, or podcasts. Even consulting or coaching retainers. The goal here is simple. Build a financial engine that runs on its own, so you have the freedom and the capital to start building the next asset on the ladder. Without consistent cash flow, you're always one emergency away from starting over. Secure this, and you've built a foundation that can weather any storm. Did you know that 88% of Americans believe you need passive income to be financially secure in retirement? And 83% say having multiple income streams is crucial for financial security. When your income becomes recurring, your survival no longer depends on just one client or one paycheck. Cash flow is your first layer of financial armor. It's the difference between panic and peace. Imagine this: a freelance designer making $5,000 a month from one-off projects is always stressed, but another designer making that same $5,000 from 10 retainer clients. That's stability, that's power. So here's your first step. Build one income source that pays you monthly, not just once. Now, let's talk about where most people get stuck. They work hard, they hustle, they grind, but they work alone, and that creates a ceiling. The wealthy don't just work harder, they build systems that work even when they don't. A system could be a repeatable workflow, a trained team, an automation, or a documented process. It's a structure that multiplies your output without multiplying your time. You only have 24 hours in a day. That's it. But systems are unlimited. Let me show you the math. You working alone equals 1 times the output. You plus a system equals 10 times the output. You plus a scalable system. That's 100 times the output. If you don't build a system, your income will always be capped by your hours. But if you do, your wealth can scale automatically. Think about it. McDonald's doesn't need Ray Kroc to flip burgers. Amazon doesn't need Jeff Bezos to pack boxes. The system works. The moment you stop being the bottleneck in your own business is when real wealth begins. Your action step: document one repeatable process and train someone else to do it. That's your first system. Once your cash flow is stable and your system is running, you enter the world of equity. Equity means owning something that grows even when you don't touch it. This is where wealth truly compounds. We're talking about stock in a company, a share in a startup, or real estate ownership. Here's the big shift. Poor people trade time for money. The middle class trades skills for money, but the wealthy trade ownership for wealth. According to the UBS Global Wealth Report, there are now 52 million everyday millionaires globally. That number has quadrupled since the year 2000. How did they do it? Not by working harder, but by owning assets that appreciated while they slept. Businesses, stock portfolios. When you own equity, you're not betting on your hours. You're betting on value creation and time. And time is your greatest ally in building wealth. So, identify one asset you can own this year. Not rent, not borrow, but own. Start building that equity, all right? Let's talk about the fifth asset on our wealth ladder, the capital asset. This is where your equity starts generating capital, and trust me, this is where everything changes. See, capital isn't income. Capital is fuel. It's the difference between a business that just survives and one that absolutely explodes. With capital, you can buy better assets, bigger ownership stakes, and faster growth opportunities. You get leverage that can 10 times your returns. Here's what the data shows. In 2025, 67% of Americans believe they need to look beyond traditional stocks and bonds. 42% say the classic 60/40ths portfolio is just outdated. Why? Because capital opens doors that simple cash flow never could. Want to buy out a competitor? You need capital. Want to scale into new markets? Capital, acquire income-producing real estate. Capital, invest in private equity or startups. You guessed it, capital. This is the first step where your money starts doing more work than you do. Think of it like this. 10,000 saved is safety. 100,000 invested is growth. But 1,000,000 in capital, that's opportunity. Capital gives you options, options give you power, and power gives you freedom. Your action step: once you have stable cash flow, start allocating 20 to 30% toward capital building investments, not spending, investing. And finally, the sixth and ultimate asset everything leads to, the freedom asset. Freedom isn't a fancy car or a big house. It's the ability to choose when you work, who you work with, and what you work on. It's how your life feels. Financial freedom isn't a destination, it's an asset you build. And the beautiful part is, when you climb all 6 steps of this ladder, wealth becomes inevitable. Not because you got lucky or worked 100-hour weeks, but because you built a system that compounds. Here's what this looks like in real life. Years 1, 2, 3, you master a high-income skill and build cash flow. Years 3 to 5, you systemize and start owning equity. Years 5 to 10, your equity generates capital, and your capital buys more assets. After year 10, you have freedom. You choose your life. The world doesn't reward effort anymore. It rewards systems, ownership, and leverage. So stop chasing money. Start building assets. Which step of the wealth ladder are you on right now? Drop a number in the comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And if you want part 2, where I break down the exact strategies for each step, comment the word wealth below. If this opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button. We're exposing the blueprints of wealth and success every single week. Let's build this together. See you in the next one.